Hey Simmers, it's your girl chandarondasims. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be dropping a video for you guys on my channel. Lots of things have happened. You guys know I have a full-time job now, which means the content creation has pretty much slowed to a stop. It's definitely making me feel away because I see some of my other favorite simmers like just being able to upload and create, and it just sucks that I cannot do it how I used to, because I have no intentions on quitting my job because girl, we need the coin, okay? So it just sucks, but I am back with the Sims for Life and Death. I do want to clarify, this is not a review. I would encourage you guys to go watch all the other simmers who reviewed this pack, who went into more details about the pack. There are even certain parts of this pack I'm not even going to show you guys. Like, I'm not even going to go into it because it's just not my deal, and I'll tell you guys why it's not my deal at the end of this short video. But I did want to introduce some new sims to my channel. Do not worry, I have not forgot about our Growing Together Eco Lifestyle series. I have not forgotten about Love Struck. I have not forgotten that I'm bringing Trailer Treasures back to the channel. I just need y'all to stick with me while I play some fresh things because I haven't played in a while. There are even some things about the game I done forgot that I want to do and show. Like, my flow is just off a little bit, and so I just ask that you guys bear with me as I get back in the flow. Please don't beat me up if things change, or maybe things that I've said are coming may be delayed a little bit. Please boss, please do not fight me. If you like my voice, you like these pixel people that I make up in my mind and bring to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this let's play. So you guys may be wondering who the sim is that you're looking at, because this is not the sim from the video. This is not the sim from the trailer, but this is another sim who's very close to that sim. The sim from the trailer, her name is Rowan. This is Rowan's former college bestie, Janessa Gates, and Rowan is staying with Janessa as Rowan finalizes the plans for her husband's funeral. Janessa, who is not that great of a cook because she's sort of like a businesswoman, savvy person, she is failing at making Rowan and Lola, Rowan's daughter, breakfast while they are sleeping. Janessa is an early bird, so she did get up, get dressed, got herself together. As you can see, she is a diva. She likes to look good, you know, she likes to take care of herself. Her house is pretty pristine and pretty much you know, very much girly girl. See, she doesn't really know how to cook that well, but she is getting breakfast together for Rowan and for Lola so they don't have to worry about it. A couple things you should know about Janessa. Janessa is a lawyer. She is an adept attorney right now. If she gets promoted one more time, she's going to reach the top of her career, the law career. Her lifestyle is a perfectly pristine home. She was just raised to have nice things, and that is kind of what she is into: cleaning, vacuuming, washing dishes, emptying the trash, and just making sure her space looks nice. I am gonna have Janessa go ahead and call Rowan and Lola to eat. So she's gonna say, hey guys, it's time to wake up, come grab some food. She's gonna grab some herself. Rowan's getting up. I think Lola decided to keep sleeping in, which makes sense because Lola actually hates bedtime. So guess who was up last night at like 3 in the morning? So she might not be as sleepy. Oh guys, Janessa is pretty sad. Oh Lord. And so is Rowan. And I imagine she kind of sat in the corner there as not to have to talk to Janessa too much this morning. Even though Janessa has opened her home to Rowan, it doesn't change that Rowan is dealing with grief and Janessa is dealing with the grief of her homegirl. These two went to college together. They both kind of chose different paths after college though. Janessa went on to finish her career, whereas Rowan went on to start a family. And so they are kind of two different people, and that has never really like negatively impacted them. I think other people, look, even Janessa won't let Rowan clean the dishes. I think other people have been negatively impacted by their relationship because they can't understand why Janessa is like friends with Rowan, because Rowan goes out of her way to be a loner. She kind of keeps to herself. She doesn't really make room for others in her life. So I think some people would not understand their relationship that much. Rowan is pretty much a loner. She was adopted. She spent most of her life in the foster care system, so she doesn't really know what it's like to have a family. So she didn't really make that many friends in her life. And I think that's why she kind of developed the loner personality. So she's just kind of learned to always do things on her own. In fact, she's not pretty happy about having to lean on Janessa during this time, especially because Janessa has a lot of things going on in her personal life. And Rowan and Janessa, they talk, but they don't talk a lot. So it's just odd, but this is all that Rowan has. Janessa is all that Rowan has to lean on, just because Rowan is not really close with Graham's family, who we will meet later in this episode. Unfortunately, Janessa will have to go to work pretty soon, even though Rowan's life has stopped. Janessa's has not. But as you can see, Janessa is a pretty emotional person, and she is negatively impacted by the loss of Graham because she didn't know him. And if your sim knows a sim that passes away, then they are negatively impacted. So Janessa's headed to work in her lawyer garb. I think Lola was coming in here to bother her. Oh no, she's just coming to eat her eggs and toast in here. Guys, Rowan's not feeling well. Oh my gosh. Rowan, what is happening? Why did she throw up? I've actually seen this at a funeral because I've played through a funeral multiple times, and I have actually seen someone throw up at a funeral. I'm not sure if that was something else, if Rowan is just feeling sick because of grief, or if she's throwing up because of something else. Oh, we've developed a quirk, it seems. Lola is a messy eater. She's extra messy around food time, and she will get her high chair and herself dirtier quicker when she eats. We also found out last night that Lola hates bedtime. She resists having to go to bed. She'll get up and ask for all types of things as long as she doesn't have to go to sleep. Rowan and Lola have an interesting relationship. Rowan is very permissive to Lola, especially since Graham has passed. Lola gets what she wants when she wants. It does not matter. And Rowan is not okay with other people telling her how to raise her child, especially right now during such a sensitive time. I would say Rowan has always kind of been permissive a little bit when it comes to, oh my gosh, did she pee on herself? Did she pee on herself? Why is there water here? That was strange. We got a pop-up for Janessa. It says gavel of corruption. Janessa witnessed something that could implicate a former colleague in a corruption scandal. This colleague has since been appointed to a prominent judgeship, granting them the power to change the lives for better or worse of each person who stands before them. Should Janessa come forward with evidence that'll surely damage her colleague's career or ignore what she saw? Well, I think Janessa is a person of integrity, so I think she would say what she saw. She is going to reveal to the judge. It looks like we gained some fame from that. And it says Janessa's former colleague is disgraced and loses their judgeship, while Janessa's splashy accusation gets her a bunch of media attention. Since coming forward, though, other colleagues have distanced themselves from Janessa. Even her employer won't trust her with anything critical or sensitive, and after a negative performance review, Janessa is demoted. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, since we've been demoted, we're gonna take it easy. You know what I'm saying? So while Lola cries in the other room, Rowan is gonna come and cry in here. This is often how they spend their days since Graham has passed. Rowan doesn't really know how to deal with Lola's breakdowns, and she will go and cry. And yeah, she just wishes Graham was here and that she didn't have to do a lot of this by herself any longer. But that is not the case, and she's not sure what to do because life is just different. Lola used to have a very happy family home, and I'm sure that's a lot for a kid to deal with. Even though I find myself getting frustrated at Lola's behavior because she is a very independent toddler, so she feels she can do whatever she wants, however she wants, whenever she wants. I have to remind myself that she's not just being mean or quote unquote bad to be bad, but there is a root cause. And as an educator in real life, oftentimes I have to remind myself of that with the kids in my class. Rowan's taking it upon herself to clean up what I think may have been Lola's pee. I'm not sure. That was strange. I'm gonna have Rowan come in here and take a quick shower really quickly. Then I would love for her to do some of the laundry because her and Lola don't have any clothes. So there, she's gonna do some of the laundry. And then I would love for her to come in here and finish what she started on the computer a couple days ago. We've probably been at Janessa's for about probably 2 weeks, honestly. And that was not like the intent, but Rowan doesn't have anybody to help her. So Rowan's gonna come in here and write a goal. It's kind of like her list. She has a lot of things to do right now. Let's just be honest. Things to do to find, oh, Rowan. Things to do. Oh, her emotions are jumping all over the place. Isn't that how grief shows up sometimes? So Rowan is trying to figure out all the things, as you can see with the baby crying in the background. She's trying to figure out all the things she needs to do. The funeral is definitely on her mind, as you can see. I'm going to actually have her go to the household inventory, which is how you find the plan a funeral option, and we're going to finalize our funeral plans. So when you go to plan a funeral, you could do it from the computer. I think the phone, maybe not the phone. You do it from the computer or calendar. We're actually going to come out and do it on the calendar because if we do it right now from the computer, it's not going to give us an option to plan ahead of time. Only the calendar in game does that. But when you go on the computer, you're going to go under household, you're going to see plan a funeral, and then you're going to start to plan the event. But for Rowan, we are actually going to open the calendar here and we are going to scroll down on our left side right here and click add funeral. We're going to make sure we click Tuesday. What you want to do is make sure there are no other events on that day, because if there are, you're going to have to delete them before. If you try to plan a funeral the day of and there is an event, sometimes it will not let you plan the event around the time you want because the game is only registering the previous event that was already there before you try to plan an event. So that sucks. We are going to use a free space like Tuesday right here to plan the funeral. So you're going to click add funeral right here and you're going to get that funeral screen. Now, the departed sim is going to be Graham Garrison. The host is going to be Rowan. And then we're going to pick our guests. We're going to grab all of Graham's family. Wow, Vivian is bald. I'm not sure why. We're going to grab all of his family. And the only person we're missing is, oh, that's interesting. Is it because she's not, why is Janessa not here? And we're gonna say, okay, so that is the guess. Oh, look at the way, because Lola was last, she's like in line with her family. I love that. You can also hire mourners. I love this. I love this. So I'm gonna hire 4 mourners. I love bringing the crumple bottom friends, Agatha and Agnes. So we'll use Agatha, Agnes, Alex, and we'll just hire one more person that we don't know, whoever the game wants to pick. Hopefully it's not a ghost. Now we have our hired mourners. We will not have an entertainer because the lot that I chose, there is no music, there is no piano, nothing like that. So we won't have an entertainer. Next, you will pick the guest attire. You can pick the dress code, which is cool. And then you could pick the color. I will not be using this feature. When I use this feature, I feel like it randomized weird clothes on my Sims. When I chose black and I don't know what I chose here. Maybe, oh yeah, I think I unclicked that. And I just chose black for the color. And I don't know, my Sims all looked crazy. So I did not vibe with that. So I will not be using that. I do have my thoughts on how this can be made better, but the mechanics of The Sims 4 with the randomizing outfits and stuff has never been great, to be honest. Next, you're going to select the activities that you want to do for your Sims. So we are going to give a eulogy. Everybody's allowed to do that. We'll make sure to give a lighthearted speech and we'll make sure to give a mournful speech and a lighthearted one. We will have a moment of silence, we will light candles, and we will mourn the deceased. So those are the things that we are going to do. Now we must pick a location and a time. So Grant, Rowan, and Lola actually lived in San Sequoia, which is where Graham is from. And so that is where Graham's funeral is going to be happening because Graham's family is also there. So we're going to choose the cemetery called Eternal Meadows Funerals. and we're gonna choose this place to host the funeral. You could choose any place, which is cool because some people don't have funerals, they have memorials, they have it at the home, different places. I love that you could choose anywhere to have a funeral. That's actually pretty cool. We're gonna have the funeral in the morning tomorrow around 10 a.m. And cool, when you get done planning a funeral, it's gonna cost you $100, and it should look like this on your calendar. You also can do a same day funeral by just picking up the phone or the laptop and just planning the funeral right away. And your sim will just go straight there as soon as you're done planning. I think Rowan noticed that Janessa left out these mochi chocolates, so she's gonna have a few herself. Because yeah, you know, when you're going through grief, sometimes you just eat. So Rowan's gonna mournfully, oh no, guys. Oh my gosh, she ate the whole box. Rowan, I'm so sorry, friend. Man, she's really going through a lot. That is hard, but I have definitely grief ate before. And here comes Lola. Oh, she wants to be hugged. Oh, guys, I can't. How beautiful. Oh, I feel like Rowan's gonna spend some time with Lola right now and kind of parent her. Oh, Lola clearly wants to have some time. So what if they do some funny faces because they just became good friends? What if Rowan does some funny faces, you know, puts on a bright face for Lola, because sometimes it's like that as a parent. Oh, guys, she couldn't bring herself to do it. She just chose to go cry it out instead. What is happening? Oh, that is so sad. Look at little Lola's face. Her lip is quivering. Mommy. She's still gonna go find her mom. Guys, I can't. This is so sad. Oh, Lola's giving her a hug again. Guys, I'm not setting this up. They're just doing it.
Fribs, Quaba, Flodorkadu, Imbara.
I feel like before Graham's death, Rowan is that type of mom. She loves to tell stories. Oh gosh, Lola is not appreciating it. Guys, and just like that, our family dynamic has changed. And honestly, I just watched Lola give Rowan so many hugs and just so much like love as Rowan just keeps crying. So I really feel like it was Lola that changed this dynamic, definitely not Rowan. But it says, some older Sims have a knack for providing reassurance and emotional support for their younger family members. The older Sim can serve as a good role model, sharing their many life experiences to help guide the younger Sim through life. Recently, it seems like Lola and Rowan have this type of relationship. When family members have a supportive family dynamic, both Sims will actively provide affection and compliments to each other. The older Sim will actively seek to console or cheer up the younger Sim, and the younger Sim feels comfortable venting complaints or asking for help a bit more. Would you say Lola and Rowan have a supportive family dynamic? Yes, I've actually never got that family dynamic before. So that is so cool. Oh, look. Rowan's gonna teach her some flashcards. Oh, I love this little scene. Let's people watch, or sim watch, I call it. And guys, look at these little mootlets. Lola has the warmed heart moodlet. It says, from supportive family dynamic. After spending time with a supportive family member, Lola has all the warm fuzzy feels in her heart. And then Rowan's feeling pretty loved. It says, from a warm snuggle, caring for a toddler is its own reward. So another new feature that came with the Sims 4 Life and Death is making goals. So if you click on a computer, you can click on the bucket list and your sim will have an option to write a goal from a category, or write the perfect goal. Rowan is writing the perfect goal. She wants to focus in on her family, especially since losing her husband. Still, her perfect goal is, I want a great family. Now let's see. I'm actually going to say that Rowan wants more than anything for Lola to know she's very proud of her right now. She's very big on saying what needs to be said, since you never know when your loved ones are going to leave you behind. So that's the one she picked. Now it's going to go in her soul's journey. So the soul's journey is this new overall satisfaction of Rowan's existence. So we have the life aspiration, and above it we have the satisfaction of her existence. She feels these rewards for her soul's journey, and they will give her perks in life, in death, and whatever comes afterwards. Some things increase the soul's journeys are your bucket list, your aspiration, your wants, your new year resolutions, and your midlife crisis. I'm probably going to stop soul's journey right about here with quite a journey, where you create objects to pass down, because after that it is a lot of things dealing with the afterlife, like being a ghost, rebirth, grim reaper, and ghost mastery, and I have no desire to promote that stuff on my page. So yeah, we're gonna stop right about here is where I'm comfortable with. We got a pop-up. It says Afterlife Anonymous is starting now. Feeling overwhelmed or in need of support? The Afterlife Anonymous is your go-to sanctuary. Gather with fellow ghosts and sympathetic sims for support sessions. Share your experiences at the podium. Enjoy comforting potluck dishes and find solace in heartfelt conversations. Whether you are a ghost or a grieving sim, it's the perfect place to find support and camaraderie. Guys, look at Janessa's face. She could care less what anybody out here is talking to her about. Look at her face. All she cares about is the demotion. Look at her face. Oh my god. Now, mind you, she does have the grieving moodlet, so that's probably why she looks so sad. But in my mind, our story is focused on her losing this job, and I think she's like hyper fixated on that today. So guys, now Rowan has the I should make sure my kids know I'm proud of them bucket list, and Janessa is actually about to come in here and console Rowan really quickly, because Janessa can hear her crying from the other room. So she's just gonna make sure her homegirl is okay. She's gonna console her. She's like, girl, how are you today? I know I was at work. I hope you are doing better. I feel like Rowan's telling her, like, Lola was crying all day. She finally went down for a nap. I was trying to finalize the stuff with the funeral stuff, and it's just been a lot. She's gonna discuss her sad mood with her and continue to just check in on her and say, girl, I hope you are. Oh no. Of course. And guess who's up? Rowan has to go check on her toddler. Guys, I got another notification that says Rowan had a hot and heavy dream about Graham. No. Rowan's dreams bring her to a state of nirvana as they recollect their cherished memories with Graham Garrison. It's almost surreal, this ravishing creature that stalks her as she slumbers. How could someone so perfect for them actually exist? You know, I feel like in Rowan's dreams, Graham still exists, but obviously in real life, he is gone. All right, guys, it is Tuesday. It's 10:01, and we are at the funeral. So while Rowan puts Lola in this chair, Rowan's gonna take a seat here after she puts Lola down. I'm gonna actually make Lola steady sit too, because if I don't, she'll just do whatever she wants. We're gonna take out Grant's tombstone. I do want to show you guys you could change it from an urn to a tombstone or a gravestone. We're gonna make it a gravestone. We're gonna choose one because we're gonna leave his grave here in San Sequoia. I really like this one because it has the leaves on it. Right now it just says RIP, but we're actually going to engrave it ourselves. So we're gonna say Graham Garrison, beloved husband, father, son, and friend of many. You will be missed. That's what we're gonna say. So now when we hover over it, it's going to say Graham Garrison, beloved husband, father, son, and friend of many. You will be missed. Now we can open up this casket right here and put Graham's tombstone there. I don't know why we would do that because it doesn't change the interactions for the casket. Like, the only thing is when you open it, you can do all of this stuff in front of, I guess, the casket. Maybe that's the part of it. I'm not sure. But since Rowan is the host of the funeral, we're actually, I love that this has like no ghosts because I really don't want no ghosts in here. I love that this sign says no ghosts. So Rowan is one of the first people here. She actually is going to call over everybody, call the guests into the chapel to get everybody to come here. I'm going to call everybody over and just get started. It says that Janessa has an emotion bomb happening. Janessa is finding it difficult to process her negative emotions in a healthy manner. Feelings of anger and sadness quickly become overwhelming and always result in an over-dramatic emotional meltdown. Okay, Janessa, you cannot be more hurt over our husband than us. So guys, I want to note one thing. The Sims are going to come in whatever outfits they want to. As you can see, most of my Sims are in their funeral outfits, but honestly, I'm trying to say that that's few far in between. As you can see, Graham's mom here, Vivian, she, for some reason, will not, she keeps on changing her clothes. So I'm not sure why that is. I'm going to go ahead and change her back really quickly. So now that mostly everybody is seated, we are going to get the funeral festivities started. I'm cracking up about how Ignacio Robles has on a whole white tuxedo suit. So we're gonna get started. The first person that I want to eulogize, oh, I'm so sorry, Lola. Yes, your dad's gone. I'm so sorry. We're going to first have Pastor Craig eulogize. Let me find him really quickly. So I'm controlling Pastor Craig using the control any sim mod. Oh, I didn't mean to have him do that. I actually would like him to come over here and eulogize. Mournfully, he's going to be our first eulogy. What you will notice is that all the Sims are going to stand up when he comes and eulogize. I'm not sure why. That sucks. I also would like to say, I wish that you could just click on the podium and click a Sim. Like, the option should come up to eulogize, and then we can just click a Sim who will choose to eulogize. But nonetheless, oh, Pastor Craig, it's okay. If y'all hear other people crying, this is awful. I love it. I feel like Pastor Craig is saying, guys, just give me a second. We are here today to celebrate the life and the homegoing of Grant Garrison, my favorite cousin in the whole world. And Grant was just an amazing guy. He was so kind. He was so selfless, and he was hilarious, and we had a lot of great times together growing up. I didn't have any siblings. Graham was my sibling. Guys, do you hear Lola? Oh no. Graham was my sibling. He was my brother, and he really taught me all the things about life. I really looked up to him, and I'm gonna miss him so much. As I said, everybody will stand up while a eulogy happens. For some reason, they won't sit down. It just sucks. I'm not sure why everybody has to stand up to listen to the eulogy. Not sure. No one's checking on Lola. Okay, everybody really appreciated Pastor Kevin's eulogy. Now we will have Graham's sister give a eulogy. So now Carly, she's Graham's sister. She is going to give a eulogy. It looks like for some reason Agnes Crumplebottom was going to try to give a eulogy. Ma'am, no, that's not even cool. We don't know you that much. We don't know you that well. Look at her. She's pretty salty. I feel like Carly's eulogy is giving the little sister side of like just Graham always being there for her, but also always pranking her. She believed everything her big brother said. Everything. And he really could, prank her very easily. But he also loved her, protected her, taught her about life, and always made her feel special. She is so happy to have shared life with such a special person, and that he was her brother. I feel like Carly's saying we are all lucky to have known Graham in the way that we have known him, and there will never be another like Graham to make us laugh, to make us come together, to be the amazing person he is. And I will always miss my brother, and I choose to celebrate his life and everything that he's given all of us. So I'm actually going to have Rowan come out here. It seems that the festivities, or not the festivities, but the mourning and the grief has carried on outside. I'm going to call Rowan here, and she's going to call all the guests over, and we're actually going to go ahead and have a moment of silence, light some candles, and grieve more of Graham. So Rowan has called everybody over, and she actually is going to light a candle for Graham really quickly. Rowan's gonna light a candle, and then we are all going to just have a moment of silence for Graham. Everybody's kind of already starting, so everybody's gonna come over here, have a moment of silence for him. Oh, this is so sad. No, because that was inappropriate of you to start laughing, but did y'all hear the little sniffles? So Rowan's gonna grieve Graham, and so will Lola. Lola will grieve as well. They're both gonna cry. This is awful. Oh my gosh, look at, oh my gosh. A lot of them are mourning him. This is awful. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Oh my gosh. Guys, I can't. What else can we do? We'll reminisce about the deceased. Rowan, hold it. I'm sorry. She's gonna reminisce about him. Oh, she can weep. Let's have her weep some more. They're all crying. Oh no. They're all mourning him. We just fulfill her want to mourn the dead as well. This is awful. This is awful. Let's look at some of these movies. Oh, look at Rowan. Oh my gosh, guys. I cannot. That looks so real just now. I can't. I love the new animations. I love it. I love it. Oh. Rowan says a loved one has passed. It's important to mourn and remember the good life moments had with the departed sim. She's still mourning him. It says feeling their presence. It's as if Rowan can feel the warmth of her lost loved one, blanketing her with the feeling of calm and tranquility and knowing they're still alive in the fond memories of others. Rowan also feels like Lola is bringing out the best because she adores her. Because Rowan is a gloomy sim, she's feeling sad. She always has a cloud hanging over her in this season of her life. Janessa is an angry bomb right now. She just has no control of her emotions. It says she is in a fit of rage. And I think some of it is because she's on her cycle. She's remembering a sim that passed away. Life is too short. Make it longer in the options menu. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is hilarious. I can't. They play too much. This is so sad. So sad. Oh, Rowan's walking away. Oh, this is so sad. Rowan is going in the bathroom to give herself a pep talk, guys. I cannot. And now she's going back out to mourn Graham again. This is awful. And look, Pastor Cousin Craig is going to cry in the bathroom too. This is too much. This is too much. All the family is saying goodbye to everybody. Oh, look, Rowan's hugging. Oh my gosh, I can't, guys. I can't. She's hugging her. They really do have a supportive family dynamic. I can't. Oh my gosh, Bohilda. Guys, that's so sweet. I feel like Rowan's looking down at her daughter, kind of like, what are we gonna do? It's just me and you, kid. So it's probably maybe a month or two later, and we are currently at a very early morning doctor's appointment, but the doctor's appointment is not for our lovely Lola here. It's actually for Rowan. Lola's out here in the waiting room playing with her xylophone. No other kids, just her being independent as per usual. But where is Rowan?
Ribazo! Yasinarb! Lunay! Ubreg! Karenzi! Usanet! Gamula Bill!
Aha!
Kerif! No, Bunare! Kaling Blore! Sipelsta!
Boleyn.
Yebs! Fim Trobo Worms!
Jemmer. Oh, Clavy Quips.
Hey.
So it probably was maybe a couple weeks after the funeral that Rowan will realize that she was not feeling well. She began to be pretty sick anytime she ate things. She couldn't really keep anything down, and she started to be tired all the time, and it was more than her usual grief tiredness, right? Grief sometimes has sent her to the bed just crying it out all day, every day. That's like the main thing she has done in her grief. Grief keeps her tired. Sometimes she can barely even get up and take care of Lola, but she kind of has been feeling a little bit more motivated over these last couple weeks. She very quickly left Janessa's home and found her a small apartment across town, not in the nice neighborhood that Janessa lives in, and has started to look for work. And as much as she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, she truly cannot afford to be one without Graham. And it has led her to getting on welfare as she looks for a job, but also it's led her to start to seek to put Lola in daycare, which is something she never wanted to do. And now she has news that would otherwise be so amazing outside of what she's experiencing right now. But for her, as you can see her face right here, she's not doing well with the new news. So Rowan wouldn't normally do this, but she is going to ask her doctor for advice. She's explaining to him that she is a single mother. She doesn't have all she needs to take care of her toddler, let alone take care of two babies. The doctor is a little bit uncomfortable. As you can see, he's moved across the room, and Rowan's like, look, I normally would never do this, but I just need, oh my gosh, he's overwhelmed. As you can see, Rowan's like, he's no help. And of course, Lola's like, Mom, where have you been? Why would she just leave her baby like this? No, ma'am, no. And of course, Lola has come to look for her mother. The doctor is not at all helpful. Rowan's like, honey, just wait a little bit longer. I need to go get a couple more things done. As unprofessional as our doctor has been, Rowan has decided that she is going to continue with his care. And so she is asking the doctor to give her a pap smear. Now the doctor's sad because Rowan shared her melancholy thoughts with him, but Even so, he's going to continue with caring for her, and he's going to give her the next recommended step, which is a pap smear. So Rowan's going to get her pap smear work done. I thought we should give her a little bit of privacy because this is, one, a lot for her emotionally, but also, yeah, no woman wants you in the middle of her doctor's exams. So I would be mortified if anybody was in the middle of my doctor's exams. But this has just been a lot for Rowan, and I don't even know what to say. Can you imagine being a woman who just lost her husband? You're taking care of your daughter by yourself now, and now you are pregnant with your second child. Like, can you even imagine? And finally, Rowan's gonna get blood work done. So we're gonna follow her again into another room with Dr. Desmond Barracat. This is actually the first time I've actually seen a decent doctor in the game. He's kind of handsome. Gonna get some blood work done. Oh, sorry, Rowan. Sorry, girly pop. Gotta get it done though. He's like, okay, we'll wait for your lab work soon. Oh my gosh, she's still crying about her situation and how alone she is. This is so sad, guys. I cannot. In the meantime, Rowan has decided to come in here and take a little bit of a nap before heading back to her side of town. I really just think she's in deep thought. I feel like Rowan already understands she can't afford much. She is barely making it by right now, and now to have this next level, I mean, and to be truthful, she should be excited, right? She has this second child, this second piece of Graham here with her, and he has left her so much, even with just Lola. But I think Rowan cannot believe that this is her life now. She cannot believe this. And it almost feels like she has no one, even though she does have Janessa as support. Rowan doesn't have her own family, and she's not in contact with Graham's family like she should be. I think she should be, but I think Rowan has never felt close to them. I think that that was always Graham's family, and she always felt like they tolerated her because she just wasn't the woman they thought Graham would bring home, and she kind of always never felt like she was good enough for Graham's family. So she always has kept her distance. And even if we look at some of Graham's family members, excuse my UI because I don't know what's going on. It's not UI cheats. It's not tools. I took them out. I'm thinking that it might be Build by Twisted Mexi, but I'm not sure. But look, even with Graham's sister, they have bad compatibility. They have a distant relationship in the game. The game randomized this bad compatibility. I didn't do that. But they do not get along. They have bad social compatibility, and they have never had a great start. And I think Rowan doesn't believe they ever will. Even with Graham's dad, Richard, she has a distant relationship. And with her mother-in-law, Vivian, she has a distant relationship as well. They don't have bad compatibility with Rowan, but they have never really gone out their way to get to know Rowan because Rowan has always kind of kept her distance. And so therefore they have a distant family dynamic, which says these Sims are more reserved around each other. They don't make particularly frequent contact when apart, and even when within the same household, they won't go out of their way to interact or spend time together. And if they do speak, they both will naturally lean towards small talk. They also have a higher chance of forming bitter sentiments towards each other. So I'm interested to see what will happen in our gameplay regarding that. Rowan has good compatibility with Graham's cousin, Pastor Craig, but again, they're distant. And with Craig's wife, Miriam, they don't really have any type of relationship, just, I guess, a small bit of a friendship, which maybe there's hope for Rowan to connect with someone. Maybe her being a spouse that has married into the family, just like Rowan, maybe they will connect in some way. I don't know. Only time will tell. With that being said, we are a couple hours away. Oh my gosh, Lola. Your mom's sleeping, honey. She's sleeping. She came here to wake her right up. She's like, Mommy, please. As you can see, Rowan is barely reacting because she kind of be out of it, y'all. Let's have her get up and hug Lola. Oh my gosh, look at Rowan. Oh my gosh, she looks so sad. Anyway, as I was saying, we are a couple hours from San Sequoia because I like to think San Sequoia is like San Francisco. And then I like to think that, Rowan has to go. The pregnancy will definitely put her in spaces like this a lot of times, having to be, oh, Lola, you're so sweet. She blew her kiss. Oh my gosh, so cute. I thought that was cute too, Rowan. She's just chatting it up with her mom. But I like to think that Santa Sequoia is a couple hours maybe away from Oasis Springs because I like to think Oasis Springs is like a California-like land. Oh, Rowan has to go. She's like, I can't even hold it. Mommy has to go. I'll be right back. Stay in here. I don't know how far that is from San Francisco in California. Like, I don't know the distance, but I don't believe like Rowan's really close to them. Like, she's enough hours away that she doesn't have to truly interact with them. And I think they don't really know how to approach it either. Like, how do we demand from this grieving woman that we see Lola, which I'm sure is who they want to see? Oh my gosh. Look, Richard has reached out to Rowan. Oh my gosh. So Richard is Graham's dad. He says life's been busy, but just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Hope all is well. Oh my gosh, he is such a sweetie pie. He is so sweet. Oh guys, I love that. And it's so on par with our story. I feel like Richard's reaching out because he does want to see Lola. I mean, they love Rowan because Graham loved Rowan. And of course they want to make sure that, you know, Rowan has everything she needs. But again, Rowan is non-committal. She's socially awkward. She's gloomy, and she's a loner. As you can see, she's dipped into this room to kind of deal with her emotions away from Lola. Yeah, our story continues on with Rowan. Guys, we are going to end the episode here. Don't click off just yet because I want to give you guys my final thoughts about The Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack. Okay, so let me give my brief opinion and review of The Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack. There will be a point in this review where I do talk about religion, spirituality, and my strong opinions on that. I will give a forewarning for those of you who want to leave because that's not really your stilo. Like, you're not really into it. You don't want to talk about those things. And from there, I will urge you to go watch all of the hundreds of other amazing simmers on YouTube who are non-biased and they are more open-minded. So for what I loved about the Sims 4 Life and Death pack, I absolutely love the detail put into this death experience as far as the funerals, as far as the wheels, as far as the heirlooms, as far as the new animations and objects dealing with death on a very surface basis, right? I do like the new ways that your sim can grieve. I like that there's grief counseling. I do like the concept that your sim can actually go to the new world and sit with other sims and talk about death and life and the struggles of grief. What I don't care for regarding that is the engaging with ghosts and all of those things. We'll talk more about that in a second. I do like the fact that you can, though, go gather with other simmers and have that conversation. What I do wish is that you could do that anywhere. I wish one of the features was an event space that you can create to have this conversation about grief. So maybe you want to host your own grief counseling. Maybe you want your sim to constantly be attending grief counseling outside of like a rabbit hole. I think that would be super cool to create an event where your sims can talk about life and death. It's already in the game, but I think it's very specific to your sim traveling to the new world, which I can't even think of the name of the new world. They're traveling there and then they would meet up with other sims in the occult, I guess, and ghosts and the dark and macabre people of the new world. Your sim would meet with them and talk. Somebody else might really enjoy that if they're into like really dark stuff. But for me, I would want to simulate it like grief counseling or like family members coming together and talking about the person, right? like a memorial kind of, or a memorial at someone's home. That's kind of what I would simulate. But I do like that there's an opportunity to do that. I just think I wish it was less restrictive. I do love the new crying emotions and animations connected to the new object. They actually sniffle now and wipe their eyes. You know, the crying that I love in The Sims, the crying that they do in the shower, the crying that they do in the tub, the crying that they do while they're cooking and things like that. Those are much more natural crying animations to me than the all out sobbing. And all out sobbing is real. People do cry that way, but I really do like the subtle crying because it looks more realistic, more than I like that dramatic comedy kind of cartoonish vibe that The Sims has applied to crying. But in Sims for Life and Death, and I don't know if they updated the whole game with this. I would hope that they did and you didn't have to pay for this. But your Sims, like, they cry a little bit softer now. It's like you almost are peering into this moment of like grief with these pixel people. And it's nice. I just love it. It looks so subtle and just your heart goes out to them, even though you know none of this is real. So I do like that. I love that your Sims can cry at a tombstone. I love that they can kneel down at the flatter tombstones, the longer, flatter ones that are kind of raised from the ground. They can clean that off and wipe it off like somebody would when they're going to visit somebody they love. And they can cry. You know, it's just so nice because you could tell many stories with that. Like if you wanted to start your sim off as a person who has nobody and you wanted to show them crying at their parents' grave or crying at their loved one's grave, like that is something you can do with this new pack. I do like that with the tombstones. You can pour out a drink, you can light candles, you can mourn at the tombstones. You can call people over to do it with your sim. When your sim does it, everybody else can do it. Like you can tell everybody else to do it, which I really do like. I love the caskets. I love that you can set up a memorial picture of your sim and it's a nice picture. It's so nice and sweet and real to life. I love that you could put a blanket over the casket or flowers at the casket. I love the eulogizing, that you can do a sad or happy eulogy. I would love to see like maybe an option to do a jealous eulogy or mad eulogy, just so that it's on par with the emotions and things that go with the Sims. Like we can do all of these other things like focus, we can be inspired and all of those things. I wish that the eulogies could be inspiring eulogies. I wish that they could be mad, that they could be more than just sad and lighthearted. I think there should be a range of emotions, especially if you want to tell a story about a sim that's angry, you know, or a sim that's like, you know, they don't like this person, that a sim can go up there, they could give a eulogy and then it'll give negative moodlets to everybody in the room. Maybe that sim will drop down on the reputation scale if they have fame, or maybe everybody in the room will begin to like that sim's relationship with everybody in the room will drop down just because they gave a really uncomfortable jealous eulogy or an uncomfortable angry eulogy. Like I feel like those should be options. I think for what you can do at the funeral is pretty limited, but I understand about like what's appropriate at a funeral in real life versus not. But I think if we wanted to stay on wacky time like The Sims 4, you should be able to do a lot more things. You should be able to swim, ice skate, do all these things at funerals so that simmers can have the opportunities to tell these elaborate stories that they want to tell. So I think that they should add more options for the funerals, even if it doesn't make sense to them as the creators of the game. What I would like to have seen, I would like to have seen Sims sit down during the funeral by themselves. You can call Sims over, but like I wish that there was a be seated option. I know that we have the mod for some of us who are PC players. We have that mod that allows us to steady sit, and that's what I had to use to get everybody to sit down. Now, where that mod doesn't work is when there's a eulogy happening. When a eulogy happens, some Sims in the room will stand up. I don't understand why. And I just felt like that was weird because in real life, that's not necessarily a thing. I think everybody should be able to sit down, just like when you do a moment of silence in Sims 4 Life and Death, everybody can sit down or stand up during the moment of silence. If they're already sitting down, those people will sit and do the moment of silence, which I thought was an amazing animation added to the game, the bowing of the head and being silent, which I would love to have seen an option to pray, because I just feel like if we are so open to everybody and everything having an option to pray wouldn't really matter because there are multiple religions across the world, right? So multiple examples of how people pray, and I think having a pray option would not have been weird. But the moment of silence was like the equal. I don't know. I find it strange when people want to do things like, oh, moment of silence is general across all spaces, but then the other parts of this pack are very tuned to the occult. So strange. I don't know. Anyway, you know, in Sims 4, growing together, when you host a family reunion or a baby shower, you have all these options to do things with your family and have certain conversations. I would love to see that more in Sims 4 Life and Death. So all I saw was like discuss fate as one of the options, but I didn't see options to like cry together or cry on shoulder or discuss deceased person, like discuss memories of deceased person. You don't see those options of like discuss memories, show pictures of deceased person. Like, I don't know, things that people would do, you know. Sometimes people do that at funerals. Sometimes people don't. I wish I would have saw more of these options to talk about the person that has deceased, because it makes it more realistic. Like, we are really memorizing, or we really are memorializing this person. So I wish I would have saw more opportunities to do that. I have to play through again. Maybe I'm missing something, but I did not see that. One of the animations that I did love though, if you have a nearby bathroom, the Sims will get up from the funeral and go into the bathroom and talk to themselves in the mirror because they have a sad mood happening. So they will go and give themselves a pep talk in the mirror, which is so funny because I just feel like in real life people do step out. Another thing that Sims will do is they can go for a walk, and it has a blue little sad color next to go for a walk, which you can see this if your Sims grieving, period, but you also will see it at funerals. You will see Sims get up and walk out. They just need a break. I love it. I love it. It's so in tune with what's happening around them. And you could tell the Sims are actually attending a funeral. It doesn't just feel like they're just there. So there may be some other things I really did like, but I can't, they're not on the tip of my tongue right now. And I also did not go more into depth of exploring the wheel aspect, so I don't have many amazing things to talk about that. I would love for things in The Sims to be less of a background dollhouse, we know what's going on, and more of the Sims to know what's going on. I'm sure there are moodlets and stuff that go along with creating a wheel. I'm sure there are moodlets and stuff that go along with receiving money or receiving something from a Sim that has deceased when they pass along away. I'm sure all of that happens. I like with this pack that at least at the funerals you see Sims engaging with sadness about death. And I think the game can do that better across the board. Less of us knowing on the backhand administratively and more of seeing our Sims actually engage in the happenings of the world. So here's your opportunity to click off. I'm going to leave some space for people who do not want to talk about spirituality, religion, do not want to have a biased conversation about my religion and what my faith and what I believe, and you're not into it. You're not religious. Maybe you don't have any, you just don't want to talk about it. And I want to guide you and give you an opportunity to go check out some amazing Simmers who did a more rundown and in-depth review of the Sims 4 Life and Death pack. I did watch Ocean Sims. I watched Urban X Sims. There are so many, I think Iron Seagull. You could probably watch, what's my dude? Pixel, what's his name? Oh, Pixelate. You could go watch Pixelate. I didn't watch any of his videos this time around, but I'm sure he has something on there. Go watch people who are just, I guess, more open-minded. I'm not saying they enjoy the other features of the pack. I'm just saying they seem to be more willing to play that part of the game. For me, when it comes to me and my subscribers, I'm not even going to open doors because that's how real I believe the spirit realm is. So go ahead and leave. This is your opportunity. I love you. I hope you come back to watch more videos on my channel. Just want to emphasize that on this channel, we do marry faith and simulation, and we have conversations about religion and things like that. All right. We hope to see you soon. Okay, now that we are alone, I want to talk about the things that I did not care for with the Sims 4 Life and Death pack. And these things honestly really reflect why I didn't get Crystal Creations, why I don't play with werewolves, I don't play with vampires. Even though I love some of the objects as far as like the furniture and things from these packs, I did not purchase them. You don't see them as an option in my game because the things that they are linked to are very spiritual to me. And as a person who actively walks in the spirit realm through the giftings of the Holy Spirit, I don't play. I actually used to be a really huge horror movie, thriller movie watcher. That was my stilo. Video games that were scary and dark, I loved them. I used to be a huge Corey Kenshin fan. Anybody who watches Corey Kenshin, you know he's a believer as well. I used to be so into all of this dark stuff, and I used to be super scared of it. And then as I grew older, I was still fearful, and I didn't realize that the fear that I was experiencing in the spirit was connected to these movies and these things that I was allowing into my life. They were opening doors in my life. So I didn't understand that the reason I couldn't walk down the street alone without panicking was because I needed to stop watching that stuff. And it probably sounds like 1 + 1 = 2 to some of you guys, but it just took me growing in my faith and my relationship with Jesus to know, like, oh, let me chill out on this stuff. Like, this stuff is not cool. And as I began to walk in some of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, I realized I couldn't face the demonic without even thinking about the scary movies and what I'm trying to say is these false narratives that came in through these movies that empowered Satan and that made the demonic just seem so scary and powerful and bigger than God to me was coming in through those movies. And it didn't even allow me to walk in my giftings by the Holy Spirit to come against darkness because I was just so saturated in that stuff. So that's why I'm very passionate about what I'm going to tell you guys next. And I'm going to try to wrap this up because I know it's already been 15 minutes with me explaining what I did like about the pack. I might have to cut that part down. My main issue with this pack is the same issue I have with the certain aspects of a few other packs. For instance, with Love Struck, I love the attraction and satisfaction levels. I love the dating, being able to have a romantic date or get to know you date, but I did not care for the hypersexual elements. Call me a prude, but I just wasn't feeling it. I have no desire to promote sex in that way on my channel because of my own past experiences with sexual addiction and spiritual bondage. So that's one example of a expansion pack with the Sims that I just didn't fool with, and why I'm going to talk to you about life and death in the way that I'm going to. With Crystal Creations, I didn't purchase the pack because I believe in the spirit realm and I believe in only accessing it through the power and authority of Jesus Christ via the Holy Spirit. I don't believe in accessing the spirit through any perverted back doors, which bummed me out because I like the idea of jewelry making in The Sims, but the charging of crystals and then the charging of Sims mood was too similar to real world faith and spiritualism and witchcraft for me. For these same reasons, I did not and will not purchase the werewolf or vampire pack, even though I love the grungy and used objects in the build buy mode. I'm not a fan of the occult and never will be, as it promotes open doors to dark things that go against the truth of Christ. I used to be a huge Cassandra Clare fan. Do y'all remember the Mortal Instrument books? Huge fan. I had all of the books until the Holy Spirit told me to get rid of those books for the same reasons that I spoke to you about with the scary movies and stuff. All of this being said, I understand that by this logic I mentioned above, getting the Sims Life and Death seems contradictory, but I feel that unlike the other DLCs I mentioned, I can avoid the occult parts of this game by simply only using it to host funerals. During my first playthrough of Sims 4 Life and Death, I did notice at the funeral that your Sims essence or soul, the deceased Sims essence or soul does manifest, and I did not like that. So I'm going to put that up on the screen right now so you guys can see it. Look at his wife. Wait, what the heck why is she glowing? Guys, that is creepy. Why is his wife glowing? See, and this is why I don't like all of this stuff. Why is she glowing? Commune with spirits, banish spirits, release spirits. Why is there any spirits in the first place? See, and this is where I'm saying this game doing too much, because now y'all basically saying, well, see, and I don't play with none of that stuff, because why can't the funeral just be regular? Yeah, so I didn't like that. I had put Graham's soul back into the tombstone so that it couldn't come out. It was like this option that basically said, not return to the netherworld, but it was something that was like, if you do, like, basically if you hovered over this option, it says if you do this, this Sims ghost will never be able to roam and talk to you and be around you. So I was like, oh, bet, I just need to host a funeral. I don't really need to see his ghost, because in real life, I ain't for that. I don't believe we talk to ghosts. I believe we talking to demons. If you're talking to anybody that's deceased, I don't believe it's your actual loved one. I think you're interacting with darkness. That's my experience, and I think it's a way of deception that the enemy uses to keep people in bondage to spiritual things that they should not be interacting with, right? So with that being said, I do not appreciate that the only way for your Sims to, like, the ghost, there's not an option to not see the ghost. It says either add the Sim to the family or let the Sims ghost roam the world. Again, that's on par with the whole macabre dark death part of this pack, and for people who like to play that way, maybe that's great, but I literally used to have a mod in my game where it was like, nah, I don't want to see the Sims ghosts. Like, I'm good. I don't need to see nothing floating around and all of that. Like I said, I believe if you are interacting with your deceased loved ones after they leave the world in real life, I believe you're interacting with a familiar spirit, which are demons masquerading as our deceased loved ones. I believe the spirit of a person goes straight to judgment before God, who determines where they go. I know going into a theological explanation isn't something you all are anticipating or maybe even want, and it's not my intent to preach at you guys, but one of the callings on my life is to use my love for Jesus on all forms of media and promote him and expose Satan. I have another YouTube channel dedicated to this called Film Theology. Please feel free to go ahead and subscribe. I'll link it below, and that is where I examine film and media through a biblical lens. Truly, I believe some of the Sims DLCs are just a revelation of what our world without God looks like. Is what our world looks like right now. So our current film and television and the individualist culture thriving on social media, all of that is a reflection of our hearts without God. On my channel, my Sims channel, I choose to simulate community, togetherness, real life conflict, and healing, which can sometimes be messy, don't get me wrong. But I don't desire to have a perfect channel with perfect Sims. I'm not a creator that will never make mistakes, but I felt it was my duty to tell you all what the Holy Spirit put on my heart regarding this new DLC. You can buy the pack to simply simulate funerals and creating a will and family heirlooms, but be aware that the occult is heavily programmed into this pack. I'm hoping modders come up with new mods to get rid of ghosts to where it doesn't affect your gameplay, as I noticed when you send your deceased loved ones back to their tombstone for good, it seems you can no longer place their picture on the memorial at the funeral. So Graham's picture was not available for me when I played through the funeral before recording it. It is because I sent his spirit back into the tombstone for good and his picture wasn't available. I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but if the ghost is not in the world some way, like added to your family or in the world, you cannot place the picture on the memorial. So the Simmers, they need to fix that, because that really shouldn't be a thing. Or I should be able to take a picture of a Sim and put it in there myself. I'm not sure if it's a glitch, but that's what happened. At one point also, my hired mourners did not stay for the funeral. They stayed in the version that you guys saw, but in a previous version, my mourners did not stay. They showed up and then they left. Only the guests stayed. So only Graham's family has stayed. That doesn't make sense to me. I believe the mourners, though, was a perfect idea to make a funeral seem more full than it actually is. And I wish they stayed for the entire funeral event. In the end, I do enjoy Sims 4 Life and Death. I don't enjoy the way that EA likes to promote all of these other spiritualities and religions, but then when it comes to faith in Christ, they stay very ambiguous, like with the moment of silence. It's like, if you're going to promote everything, promote everybody. You know, there should be examples of Muslim culture. There should be examples of Catholicism. There should be, if you're going to do the occult, honey, go all out. And that's not because I'm pro any of those other faiths. I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, put everybody in there. Put everybody in there. Not just occult stuff. But I know why they do that, because it's just a sign of the times where people's heart will turn away from God, seeking spirituality, seeking encounters and all of these things with the spirit realm, when really they were made, what they're desiring is to be in connection with the one true and living God, Jesus Christ. That's what their soul was made to do, to worship, to have these spiritual encounters. And if the church didn't demonize the powers of the Holy Spirit, because this is where they originated from, everybody is born with gifts by the power of the Holy Spirit. Everybody is born with gifts given to them by God that are irrevocable. That's why you have seers, people who heal, people who can get words of knowledge, people who operate in the prophetic. All of these are gifts, but because the church doesn't like to really honor these things, they think it's spooky and weird. People go out into the world, they become psychics, they become quote unquote healers and all of these things, and they use their gifts, they prostitute their gifts to Satan. That's just the reality of it, but they are always welcome back to the truth of God. And I think that's what this game does. It just shows you how to interact to me with the demonic, and I'm just not a fan of it. Sorry if that is not your truth, but I'm not sorry for bringing it to the light and saying what I know God wants me to say. Again, my channel is very welcoming to everybody, no matter what you believe, but do not ask me to not stand for what I stand for to make you feel comfortable. Don't do it, because I don't come on to any other simmer's channel and tell them, hey, don't do this or that. In fact, I engage with things that I don't really care for. You know, there are some videos I don't watch because I'm like, that's too far. But most of the time I try to support simmers, no matter what kind of stories they're telling. But there are some stories I just can't support, and I just be like, ooh, I wish there was other simmers who were, you know, less this or less that. And I had to realize they had to be me. So I am here to give you guys that, a safe environment that reflects the attributes of Christ: love, kindness, peace, joy, gentleness, self-control. That's what we doing over here. Long suffering. Okay. So anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you so much if you got into the video this far. Thank you for supporting my channel. This section is very long, and I'm probably not going to be able to cut down a lot of it because I need you guys to hear what I'm saying. But thank you so much for watching this video, and love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.